Hello, world, and welcome to another podcast of It's Not You, It's Autoimmune with your host, Dr. Jocelyne Eberstein. Dr. Jocelyne Eberstein has over 25 years of experience as a doctor of Oriental medicine, medical acupuncture, and functional medicine practitioner. As a community, we are stronger and wiser. You got this, America, where good health is just a podcast away.
Welcome to It's Not You, It's Autoimmune, a place where we have conversations to empower, inspire, and educate you and to lead a robust life and to put years in your life. We're live for the first time on Instagram with one of my favorite people in the world, Dr. Dorfman, and we will be hosting a lot more of these. So just follow me on Jocelyne Eberstein, OMD, on Instagram. So feel free to also message me about any topics that you'd like to, talk about with regards to health. So if you've ever struggled with mouth issues, teeth issues, gum issues, then you better listen up, because today we're having a conversation about why your mouth health and your oral health connect to your overall health and why it's so important to focus on your oral health. Our guest today, I'm so excited to have him on, is no other than Dr. Bill Dorfman, America's top celebrity dentist. He has starred on, I can't even tell you, but let's start with Extreme Makeover, Emmy-winning award show, The Doctors. He started this company, Discus Dental, and he is the originator of whitening, teeth whitening. You ever seen European teeth? Zoom, okay? And he has, he's really brightened the smiles of a ton of celebrities. I can't tell you, Kate Perry, Usher, Anthony Hopkins, Jessica Simpson, just to name a few. And by the way, if you've ever seen the cover of his cover of Muscle and Fitness and a couple of other things, I mean, he's 36 years old, backwards, that is. If you ever saw his pictures, who is this guy? He's aging backwards. So not only that, what I appreciate most about him is that he's a philanthropist. He's this rock star entrepreneur, and for me, the Tom Brady of dentistry. You've seen him everywhere. You can find him everywhere. He's a New York Times bestseller, and most importantly, he started a foundation called LEAP, which really mentors children. And this man is so generous, so giving. I mean, I can't even say enough about him. So he gives back. That's what's amazing about him. He's my colleague, my friend, rock star of dentistry, Dr. Bill Dorfman. Please welcome him on our show. Hi, Bill.
Thank
Do you
you,
recognize
Jocelyne.
me anymore? We've been friends for a long time.
Well, almost 30 years, Jocelyne.
Almost 30 years. I believe you're backing out a little and doing fun things. So I had a couple questions for you. So we've had a lot of, celebs in our practices over the years. So do you have any fun stories to tell? You're on The Doctors, Extreme Makeover. I mean, tell us a little bit.
I have a lot of really funny stories. I think probably the funniest ones happened when I first started practicing. I did a residency program in Switzerland, and I did not speak French, and it was in a French clinic. So I learned French. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but most of the older, especially French dentists, would work standing up, which is really not good for your back. You know that. And you've been in my office, we lay our patients down flat, like almost where your feet are above your head. Well, for French patients, this was really bizarre, and it kind of shocked them a lot of time. So in perfect French, what I wanted to say was to this elderly woman, I am going to lay you down. I am going to lay you down flat. But what I actually said in perfect French is, I am going to have sex with you right now.
Well done.
And it's very simple. I mean, the difference is maintenant je veux vous baiser or maintenant je veux vous baiser. And I said the wrong one. And it was quite shocking in the clinic. And it's not a nice way to say it either. Yeah, I was kind of famous for making really big blunders there.
Oh my God. So when you started the Leap Foundation, which I find, how long ago was that?
We are in our 15th year.
Fantastic. And so I mean, I see you've got celebs out the yin yang, just getting on there and sharing their hearts. And like, was it hard to get support from them? Like, what was that like?
Well, let me tell you the evolution of Leap, because this will come full circle and make sense of this. Almost, I would say 40 years ago, there was this insurance salesman in Texas, Hunt, Texas, and he had a large following of dentists as clients. And he soon realized that dentists know nothing about business. So he started something called Dental Boot Camp, where he would basically teach dentists how to run a dental practice. And through Dental Boot Camp, these dentists were saying, wow, there should be a program like this for my kids, not to teach them dentistry, just to teach them business. And so because I was a dentist with a very eclectic and unusual career, like not only was I a dentist, but I'm on ABC's Extreme Makeover. I invented Zoom, tooth whitening. I was a New York Times bestseller and blah, 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 blah. He asked me to come on as what they call a mentor and talk to students. Well, I did this. 17 years ago, this man passed away. And I thought, this is too important to die with him. So I resurrected the program. I called it Leap. I made it a nonprofit. And personally, I put about $200,000 of my own money into it every single year, Jocelyne, so that students can come to the program who wouldn't necessarily be able to afford $2,500 for a week at UCLA. We get about 450 students live, about 5,000 to 10,000 students virtually. And we basically teach these kids skills to be successful in life. How do we do it? We bring in world-class entrepreneurs, celebrities, athletes. I mean, every single one of my patients that I've ever asked to participate in this, do it for free. Anthony Hopkins, Eva Longoria, Usher, Jason Alexander, Michael Strahan, Apollo Ono. I mean, Paula Abdul every year. I mean, on and on and on and on. Kathy Bates. I mean, it's really phenomenal. And these kids come to the program and we teach them skills that they don't get taught in school. Like what? Time management, money management, health and fitness, appreciation. Wow. Where do kids learn appreciation?
Never. Have you met him?
Right. Let's talk about your son for a minute. I mean, yours. It's really an amazing program. And, I know it works because we give these kids these little notes called I appreciate notes. And on the note, it says, I appreciate so-and-so. And then you write why. Well, the last year that we did the program in full force live was 2019. We switched to a virtual program in 2020. But out of 400 kids, Jocelyne, I got 400 I appreciate notes.
Oh my.
And 99% of them started off and said something like this. Hey, Dr. Bill, I appreciate you and your Leap team because you changed my life.
It's like so profound when that just a little spark in one of these kids' lives will change everything for them. Everything. And it's hard to find.
And I'll tell you something else, Joss, is that I said 99% of them said that. 1% of them will say, hey, Dr. Bill, Leap saved my life. And I know it did. These kids come in, they have 60% of the kids that come to our program come from impoverished families. We go out and raise money so that they can attend this program. They don't come from, a family structure where they've got a mom and a dad who support them and raise them and coddle them. I always tell parents the greatest gift you can give your kid is confidence, because confidence is currency. Don't buy them a car. Don't give them confidence. I mean, my parents went overboard in that. You got to have Jewish parents once in a while, but my parents literally went overboard in that. I to this day, I still feel like I can do anything. I feel like I'm
you
Superman.
are Superman. You beyond Superman. Like, who does what you've done? Like, honestly. Okay, so you took dentistry, which number one has the highest, I don't know if it's still the highest suicide rate. I'm like, how did you take that and the love and passion for that and then expand it like globally? Like, amazing work. And I knew I loved you the first time I saw you, because you know why? You got excited about doing a great job on my tooth. It was like, and to me, I'm like, I fell in love with you. It's like, you're in it with us.
One of the things we teach at LEAP is copy genius. When I came to Beverly Hills as a cosmetic dentist, they didn't need any more cosmetic dentists. What did I do? I called the 5 most successful cosmetic dentists in Beverly Hills and said, can I come in and shadow you? And they all said yes. And I sat there like a sponge, Jocelyne, and I looked at and they all said the same thing to me. You're weird. I'm like, what do you mean I'm weird? Well, we've had students come in and shadow us, but not like you. And what am I talking about? Well, most students will come in, watch them drill teeth and leave, right? That's not what I did. I got in there 10 minutes before their first patient. I wanted to see how they greeted that patient. I wanted to see the intake forms. I wanted to see how they brought the patient to the treatment room. I wanted to see how they reviewed the treatment, how they reviewed the finances, how they explained what was going to happen, then how they delivered the treatment. And then after that, how they took the patient to the front desk, got paid, and set up their next visit. The whole ball of wax, not just how do you drill teeth. I knew how to drill teeth, And what I did is I took the best part of each of those 5 practices, and within a year, my practice was better, bigger, more robust. We focused on customer service in a way that had never been done in dentistry.
So great. That was so great. And I experienced that coming in. So you pretty much changed the world of cosmetic dentistry as I can see. And I remember the story was, I came in, I was getting whatever I needed done. He said to me, Joss, your teeth look old. And I said, OLD, what are you talking about? So a question I have is, when you see these people, and we have to do obviously cosmetic dentistry, is that just like, do people go around thinking, oh, my teeth are white, so I'm healthy, my mouth is healthy? Is that common out there, or do you see that a lot?
Let's put it this way. When I did ABC's Extreme Makeover, there was a lot of criticism for plastic surgery, breast augmentation, liposuction. Nobody ever said, you know what, keep their gross teeth gross. Like, never. Like, I had 100% approval in all the ratings that they did on the show. Everybody thought, oh my gosh, fix their teeth. Why? You're right.
Please.
Look, you can be as attractive as ever, but if you smile and your teeth are broken, they're crooked and yellow and missing,
exactly,
it says a lot about you. People think you're unhealthy. I actually had a patient who had a condition called ameliogenesis imperfecta, where the enamel flakes off of her teeth. The enamel doesn't bond to the dentin. So people thought she was a meth addict. I mean, it literally ruined, and this is the sweetest, kindest mom ever. And it was ruining her life because she would walk into a room and until she smiled or talked, you wouldn't think anything. But as soon as she did, and they're like, oh my God, she's a meth head. And she wasn't at all. God. It was a genetic disease.
Oh my God. Well, so with this enamel problem, I hear people say, oh, I have weak enamel. What does that really mean?
It actually is a real thing. It's funny because when you're drilling on people's teeth, I've been doing this for over 40 years now. There are times when you're drilling and it's like you're drilling and nothing's happening. And then there's other people's teeth that are so soft, like you hit the tooth with the drill, and it's like, it just goes right through it. Some people have incredibly hard teeth. Some people don't. People normally who are exposed to the right amount of fluorides as a kid will have stronger teeth. If you get too much fluoride, it does the opposite. It ruins your teeth.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's kind of a balancing act, but, and then there's, a large genetic component to how hard your teeth are or aren't. But I think the best thing you can do for your mouth is go to the dentist at least twice a year, get professional cleanings and checkups and x-rays, because we can't see what's going on inside the teeth without x-rays. And if you do that, any decay or anything that happens, you can take care of while it's small. The time when people have a really rough time is when they don't go in regularly, they wait too long, and then they end up having massive problems like infections and root canals and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then, so I think, in the turn of the century, dentists were the nutritionists of the country. They were the nutrition doctors because they could tell what was going on with their bodies in their mouth. So right now, I feel like there's a big vacuum in education about oral health because now it's being linked to Alzheimer's, diabetes, obesity, heart disease. You name it. So how much do you think, do you think this can be upgraded? Do you see things like this? Do you counsel your patients? How do you work that part of the program?
So here's where science has taken us now. Periodontal disease. Periodontal disease is basically gum disease, right? Mm-hmm. So if you don't take care of your mouth and you have a chronic infection in your mouth, it weakens your whole immune system because your body is continually fighting and fighting and fighting to keep you healthy. And now, they found periodontal disease is linked to Alzheimer's. It's linked to heart disease. It's
crazy.
There are so many
Autoimmune. It's like,
absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's really critical to keep your mouth healthy and clean because if you're not doing that, you're basically setting yourself up for bigger and worse health problems.
So what are your recommendations? Do you school your patients when they're on your gums are looking like this? You need to do what?
So, here's the basic three. Number one, you need to brush at least twice a day for at least 2 minutes. Number two, you need to floss. People are like, Doc, do I really need to floss? I'm like, no, only floss the teeth you want to keep. Right? Because if you think about it, think of this. If you brush your teeth and you get the inside and you get the top and you get the outside, you just brushed 3 surfaces. There's 2 surfaces you didn't clean. And those are the surfaces in between. Brushing doesn't do that. Water picks don't do that. You need to floss, right?
I know.
So number 1, brush. Number 2, floss. And number 3, see your dentist regularly.
Well, do you think that people don't do it for time? Do they think it's not important? And it's like, what about this connection with the microbes that are in there? Because it's very complex in the mouth. There's like there's bacteria that need oxygen, don't need oxygen. Then there's I don't know what else, where it lives. And so there's so much going on there. And do you know how that relates? I know 45% of what you have in your mouth, you have in your gut. So everybody thinks, oh, it's so important to have a good gut microbiome. What about your oral microbiome? Do you recommend anything in that direction?
So typically patients that are suffering from periodontal disease will go ahead and we'll do a test to see what the cause is. And there are bacteria called pathogenic bacteria. And sometimes all the cleaning in the world isn't going to get rid of those. You actually have to go on an antibiotic regimen to kill those bacteria. But if those bacteria continue to live, what does bacteria love, Jocelyne? Warm, dark, moist places. Well, what do you think you have in your mouth, right?
Right.
So if you're not really diligent about mechanically removing them with brushing and flossing and all that, those bacteria will proliferate. And what they do is, as a byproduct, they eat the bone away. The bacteria is toxic to your bone. When you lose bone, you lose teeth. So it's this process where you start to lose bone. You get these things we call pockets. I'm sure, people have heard of that. And when you have a pocket that's so deep that you can't mechanically get in there by brushing and flossing and all that, that bacteria really proliferates and continues to grow and grow and grow, deteriorating and eating the bone away to the point where you lose teeth. So it's really critical. And there is a big genetic component to this. Look, there are some people that barely do anything and their teeth are perfect, and I know you want to go choke them because you're like, oh my gosh, but there are people that really genetically are blessed. They have no cavities, they have no pocketing, they have no problems, and they barely brush and floss. Then there's other people that are super meticulous, and there's a condition called juvenile onset periodontal disease where it doesn't matter what you do. It's usually prevalent in women, usually African-American women, and it doesn't matter how meticulous you are with your hygiene and that you're just going to lose your teeth. Like you're genetically programmed to lose your teeth, and it's just going to happen. And it's so sad. I mean, and a lot of these, and again, it's typically women end up in implants, like full mouth implants.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad. So what do you tell people like that? What do you tell them to eat? Do you ever tell them stuff like that?
We tell them a lot of
Recommend
stuff.
Things.
I mean, instead of being on a 6-month recall, we'll put them on a 2 to 3 month recall. When they're in active, periodontal disease, we'll put them periodically on antibiotic regimens. I mean, we do everything we can to try and maintain and save your teeth. But literally, there are sometimes, Jocelyne, no matter what you do, it's not going to work.
How long do they go on these antibiotics?
Normally, we do like a 1 to 2 week regimen, depending. Again, we do a panel and we see what kind of bacteria are living there and what kind of, antibiotics.
Which are you doing, Periopath or which one? Periopath?
There's like 50 different ones that you can do, but you basically put a little paper point into the pocket of the tooth and then send that to the lab to be cultured.
That sounds fun. That sounds like fun. So wait a minute. And what about things like, I think there was a new article in it was New England. Was it New England? I can't remember which journal, but they talked about this teeth pulling, this oil pulling thing in the mouth. You know about that? What is that story?
I'm not a big believer in that whole thing, the whole oil pulling. Yeah, I think it's kind of a quacky thing.
Is it a like, okay? And then what about how do we keep our teeth white without having to do the whole, the whole cosmetic dentistry thing? Are there any tips you have besides the whitening toothpaste?
Well, so one tip is don't use whitening toothpaste because it doesn't whiten your teeth. If you want to whiten your teeth, I am going to recommend that you keep your eyes open because I am launching a brand new revolutionary whitening product in March.
Okay.
Which is going to hit the markets and you'll see it everywhere. And it is phenomenal. And it's called...
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's called Poof with 3 O's. P-O-O-O-F, whitening strips. And the reason we call it Poof is because you put the strip on your teeth, it sticks on your teeth, and in 15 minutes it vanishes, it disappears. So the strip disappears, the stains disappear, and poof, your teeth get white.
Do you sleep ever?
I do, like 4 to 5 hours every night.
Killing me. You are killing me. All right.
And I'm a really good sleeper. Listen, Jossie, when I lay down, I fall asleep within 30 seconds. I'm like a machine. I'm not even really human. I mean, the only reason we know that I might be human is because I actually got COVID 3 weeks ago and people were shocked. They're like, wait, you are human.
So back to teeth. So what is plaque? Is that like, I mean, it's a film, but is that considered a biofilm or, what is that when you have plaque?
So plaque is bacteria that accumulates on your teeth, right? And when this bacteria, we call it, organizes and forms plaque on your teeth, if you don't remove this, the plaque becomes calculus. It hardens, it calcifies.
Ooh.
And then you have to have it scraped off. But the worst thing about plaque is this. It harbors bacteria. Bacteria produce toxins, and toxins eat bone and cause gum inflammation. So that's why it's so critical to keep your mouth clean.
Did you hear that, guys? You better keep it clean and uninfected. So we're going to do antibiotics, but what do they do after the antibiotics if you've got this whole bacteria situation?
Yeah, well, the antibiotics are a great adjunct, but the most important thing, again, is the mechanical removal of plaque. Okay. And by the way, don't forget your tongue. 90% of oral malodor lives on your tongue in these little crevices and grooves. So you want a tongue scrape also and get that bacteria out of your mouth. It gives you much better breath and all that.
Well, from a Chinese point of view, it's your gut. And if I see a patient come in with a tongue like that, I'm cleaning up their guts. So that is forever. That is important. That's one of the most important things. But I think it's coming them out when the gut's all messed up like that with those microbiome, with those films. So anyway, it was a great pleasure to have you. I'm so excited you came on, and I'm really excited about your new product. When's it coming out?
So it should launch in March. And if we're going to sign out, I want to say, if you are a parent or you know kids that are 15 to 25, please turn them on to our LEAP program. You can get more information at www.leapfoundation.com, or you can call us at 877-855-5327. Also, I am probably the only person I know with over 1.3 million followers on Instagram who actually answers direct messages.
The questions? Are you kidding?
So if you DM me on Instagram, it's really me and I'll answer you. And I'm easy to find. It's just Dr. Bill Dorfman, Dr. Bill Dorfman. And the last thing I want to say is I have my own podcast. It's ranked in the top 2.5 percentile of all podcasts worldwide. It's called Meet the Mentor, where I interview, Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Richard Branson, Eva Longoria, Kathy Bates. And it's really great because this podcast basically is geared to kind of teach people the secrets of their success. And it's really fun.
It's a leap for grown-ups. Is that a leap for grown-ups?
Yeah, it's for grown-ups and students.
I mean, I'd be watching that all the time.
Yeah, I would love to have you as a guest on there, Joss.
I would. I'm happy. You know me. Sign me up for. I'm like it's the heart thing, right? It's always about the heart. I so appreciate you coming on. And to see you. I haven't seen you for so long, Mr. Anti-Ager. Anyway, lovely seeing you. I can't wait to see you in real life. Thank you so much.
You too.
Thank you. And he's everywhere, by the way. He's Instagram. He's on all the platforms. Please look him up. Yeah, he's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.